Yeah, I kept feeling like I was going to miss him, but then I just never did.
Yeah, I know. Me neither.
Yeah, no, me neither. And Marissa killed it.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Her notes were so legible.
So legible. It was delightful.
Yeah, that was nice. That was really nice.
Shh, here he comes.
Hey.
Hey, Eli. We sure did miss you, buddy.
Yeah, we were just talking about something related to that.
Thanks, guys. I missed you too.
Oh, Jesus. Eli, what the hell happened to your teeth?
My teeth are fine.
Okay, yeah, but all right, I should have specified. I'm fair. But, like, where are they then? Where are your teeth?
Oh, they're in a shoebox under my bed.
Eli, why is your skin that color?
Oh, okay. It's fine for Noah to do it, but when I ask Kanye the same thing, he pays 3 people to beat me up. This is what I'm talking about.
Eli, focus, Eli. What the hell happened to you?
Oh, well, you know how I like to do some wacky thing related to the subject of each week's show?
This isn't going to be good.
Yeah?
Well, this week, we're talking about a voyage by the sea that happened in the 1500s. So I thought, what better way to get in their heads than to give myself scurvy?
Oh, for fuck's sake. How do you give yourself scurvy?
Oh, they have ladies in Indonesia that'll give it to you for $30.
Jesus, Eli, you going to be okay?
I do not think so.
Okay, I'm fine with this. Marissa's notes were super legible. Let's go back to that.
So legible.
It was really good, yeah.
They were pretty good. I could read them all.
Why don't you give her a call?
Okay, I've got her on speed dial.
Good.
And she's funnier than Eli.
Yeah, way
Much.
funnier.
That's a lot.
Just better.
Hello and welcome to Citation Needed, the podcast where we choose a subject, read a single article about it on Wikipedia, and pretend we're experts, because this is the internet, and that's how it works now. I'm Eli, and I'll be guiding this expedition tonight, but since nobody will let me drive, I can't do it alone. So joining me tonight are the before and after pictures of either a workout program or chemotherapy, depending on who you look at first, Tom and Noah.
All right, remember the best way to get motivated is to look at yourself in the mirror and repeat after me. Worthless. Why are you so fucking worthless? For extra motivation, repeat this in the voice of the person you love the most.
Yeah. Or if you just want a physique like mine, just say that to other people instead. Get that out of your system to random strangers.
Neither of those things work for me.
That's not.
And also joining us tonight are 2 men whose shower drains have enough hair to keep Luke Skywalker warm on Hoth, Heath, and Cecil.
I woke up with a tauntaun inside of me the other day. That life is fun. Sorry, what were you talking about? You guys were saying something
raped,
about Gower.
And a drain hair wampa is like the nicest thing anyone has ever called me. So I'm going to celebrate that. Yeah.
Now, before we get started tonight, I wanted to take a minute to thank our patrons. Without you, we wouldn't have any money. And without money, we'd be gross. If you'd like to learn how to join their ranks, please be sure to stick around to the end of the show. And with that out of the way, tell us, Cecil, what person, place, thing, concept, phenomenon, or event will we be talking about today?
Today, we're going to be talking about Enrique of Malacca.
Ooh, Jalifente. And Noah, you explored this one pretty thoroughly. Are you ready to set sail?
That I am, Eli.
So, who is Enrique of Malacca?
Malacca. But before I answer that, I want to ask you a quick question, Eli. Who was the first man to walk on the moon?
Chuck Berry.
Oh, okay. What? I actually want to ask Cecil
never
that
ask
same
Eli
question.
questions.
Why did you go there at Eli?
Neil Armstrong.
That's correct. And who was the first to reach the top of Mount Everest?
Mr. Everest.
Obviously.
Tenzing. No, it was Sir Edmund Hillary.
It was probably Sir Edmund Hillary's Sherpas, though. To be,
That's why I said Tenzing. I said Tenzing.
Is that his,
that was his Sherpa's name.
I didn't know that.
No, yeah.
I didn't know they gave him names.
Yeah.
I mean, really, what's the point?
All right, then you're ready for this whole essay, Tom. You are prepared for this one.
Toby the Sherpa.
Because my next question was, who was the first person to circumnavigate the globe?
The globe's rabbi.
Cecil.
Big set of scissors, though, isn't it? Enrique of Malacca.
Oh, okay, right, yeah, but you read the essay. The point is supposed to be that despite that being the kind of thing that would generally make a household name out of you, by and large, nobody knows who Enrique of Malacca was.
It's true. I didn't know before I read the essay. I'd never actually heard of him.
Right, and there are a few good theories as to why he's not the household name that Armstrong or Hillary are. One is that he's brown.
Wait, we don't need a second reason then. That's the reason.
No, we don't. Yeah, we have bonus reasons here. One is that he didn't do any of it on purpose, and the other is that he may have only made it 96.3% of the way. We're not 100% sure here.
But we're not going to count that. 96.3% doesn't count. I've never accomplished anything if 96.3 doesn't count as a success, and that includes orgasm. That's I'm like we're almost, and so that's close enough.
Yeah, the dribble. Yeah, no, I get it.
Enrique's very demanding father was so upset he didn't get 100%. He wouldn't let him go boating for an entire week afterwards.
He has to go back around the world and just find all those secret areas like Donkey Kong Country. Get the full. He's just like sailing into walls, hoping they're invisible. Like, fuck, what's this? Still 99p. What the fuck?
Now, before I really get started here, I want to offer up a fair warning that there isn't a hell of a lot in terms of historical record when it comes to Enrique. Like 9 sentences in the entire world. So it's that bad. So to keep this episode from being 6 minutes long, I'm actually going to tell the story of Magellan's last voyage. But as you're going to learn along the way, Enrique is really the star of the show here.
Okay, so if I ask you who Magellan is, will you tell me or will you ask Cecil questions and ignore me again?
I guess there's only one way to know for sure.
All right, who was Magellan?
I know this one. That's a GPS system for your car that your dad still uses because he's afraid of cell phones, right? I got it?
Ooh, I know that one.
No, Tom.
Mine's named Tom.
Mine's named, my mom's sitting next to him saying, "This isn't your exit," 87 times in a row. But no, the Magellan I was thinking of was Ferdinand Magellan, who is one of the true icons of the age of exploration. And you can tell that by all the shit he has named after him. He's the namesake of 2 moon craters, a Martian crater, 2 giant telescopes, 2 dwarf galaxies, a Venusian probe, a strait, and a kind of penguin.
Jesus Christ. When I die, I'd be happy if one of my kids remember most of my name with the aid of a flashcard. That's all it's tops.
It's really not that impressive. He just said $50 to International Galaxy Registry. Everybody can do that. No big deal.
All right, whatever. I mean, Cactophragis versillalis is named after me, so there you have it.
What?
Great pronunciation there.
There's a biologist somewhere who's like, "You pronounced that wrong, but that joke is funny."
All right, so Magellan was born in Portugal in 1480 to a noble family. Of course, at this point, the Portuguese were the best mariners in the world, and to understand why, all you need to know is that the Spanish hated them and where Portugal is.
Okay, wait. I learned this during the State of the Union. We're not giving them water because they have too much now. It's the rainy one next to Mexico.
No, Europe's Mexico, though, that one.
That's what I said.
Now, Magellan would have been turned in about around the time that the Portuguese fleet first made it around the Horn of Africa and opened up the first direct trade route between Europe and Asia, which made the country filthy fucking rich.
Well, that, and they probably hired a narcissistic, misogynistic, racist reality TV show real estate mogul as their leader. I mean, that's probably how they made Portugal great again. That's
right.
What I'm saying.
Dear Asia, here's a bill for that wall. Also, Seoul. Seoul is the capital of North Korea from now on. Love. You're welcome.
All right, so at the age of 25, Magellan set sail looking for adventure and whatever comes his way. So he enlists in the fleet that carries the first viceroy of Portuguese India, then spends almost a decade there helping him kill natives and pacify uprisings.
Okay, very confusing. Why wouldn't it? Wouldn't not killing the natives be the best way to pacify the uprising? You wouldn't have to have the uprisings, like an ounce of prevention, right?
You need repeat customers, though.
No, it's worth a pound to cure. Yeah, but I guess ethnic cleansing is 17 times more fun than not doing that. So it's just a question of the math.
Jewish question of the math.
All right, one ethnic cleansing in a row, please. All right, so in 1511. Magellan was part of a Portuguese contingent that sacked Malacca. This was a particularly troublesome region in what's now southern Malaysia. And it was during this conquest that he first met Enrique of Malacca. And by met, I mean forced into slavery as a spoil of war.
Okay, all right. Tinder was weird. Yeah. Weirder. It was weirder. No, it's actually about the same. Tinder was about the same.
You're thinking of FetLife, Tom, and yes, it was the same.
I'm never thinking of FetLife, Eli.
There's just a picture of Enrique seductively cuddling his smallpox blankets, and Magellan swipes, and he sends him 3 ship emojis and 4 squirt emojis.
Lemonade.
Eggplants.
All right, should I pay extra for that swipe around the world thing? Nah, it's a waste of money. I'm never going to need that. What am I going to go around the world?
Now, like I said, there's very little in the way of historical record on this guy. We don't even actually know his name. Enrique was the name Magellan gave him when he convinced him to be a Christian. And by convinced, I mean probably threatened to kill him. But from everything that we know, he was a pretty exceptional dude. He was apparently spectacularly good looking. He could speak at least 4 languages fluently, and you get the impression he could speak a lot more than that. And he was almost as smart as Donald Trump thinks he is. After 8 years in India, Magellan has made a pretty decent chunk of money, so he takes his plunder, including his awesome new slave, and he heads back to Portugal. But once he gets there, he starts getting embroiled in all different controversies. For example, at one point, he's accused of trading illegally with the Moors.
Trading illegally? Like, hey, we heard you were trading on the brown market instead of pillaging.
That's right. Yes.
You're not supposed to do the memo says we heard about this from the Moors, but still, it sounds shady.
Well, unlike the memo thing, he was later cleared of those charges, but he couldn't. After that, he couldn't get a position captaining a ship.
Unfair witch hunt. That's clearly a witch hunt.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's still a crime in 12 cities in Mississippi, though. I mean, not witch hunting, Moors.
No. Yeah,
Moors.
trading with the Moors. So for years, Magellan went scraping around looking for a job that he didn't think was beneath him, which is a tiny sliver of jobs, apparently. And when he couldn't find one, he did the unthinkable. He went to Spain.
I thought he was going to do something that wasn't beneath him. That's weird.
Yeah, 2 votes. When your signature food is raw ham and your only city in the country that doesn't look like the inside of Joe Arpaio's prison breaks up with you, you suck. You heard me, Spain. What kind of Spanish are you anyways? You're just like white people. Get out of here. Cut it out. You look like a guy who took college Spanish who's like faking it hard at your Latina friend. Cut it out.
Now, I need to emphasize here that Portugal and Spain hate the fuck out of each other, and they always have. All right, so these are
stupid.
Yeah, right.
They're the same. It's the same place. Fuck you.
Yeah, right. No, but our part of the Iberian Peninsula is one goddamn peninsula, people. All right. So these 2 countries, they went to war in the 1380s, the 1470s, the 1580s, the 1640s, through the 1660s, the 1730s, the 1760s, the 1770s, and twice in the first decade of the 1800s.
It's just 15 minutes of sword fighting, then 6-hour lunch, then 15 minutes of sword fighting. All right, let's call it a day. Eventually, it was like, okay, well, this is dumb to keep calling it a war. That's just a work day. Why do you call it wars?
Started calling them weekdays after that. Yeah, exactly. Well, they seem to be enjoying themselves with that. In fact, one of those wars I just mentioned was so good it was called the Fantastic War. So,
admittedly, though, only 2 of those wars had happened before Magellan. But again, not liking someone from early in the relationship. I understand that, you know.
Okay, Don't lash out, Cecil. Not here. Not in front of Enrico Suave.
Rico.
And Lady Magdalene.
All right, so one of the outgrowths of this animosity between the two nations was an agreement called the Treaty of Tordesillas.
That sounds like an unintentionally delicious treaty.
Doesn't it? You're dying to dip that shit in salsa.
treaty.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
absolutely.
Roll serrano
Absolutely.
ham up in it, yeah.
Who wouldn't eat that? That sounds good. I'll have two.
No, I literally, as I was researching this, this is true, had to have nachos after I started reading about this. So, all right, but with the Spanish discovery of the New World and the Portuguese discovery of the sea route to Asia, both were vying for naval supremacy in conflicts that were kind of fucking things up for the rest of Europe. Right? Obviously, all these new resources from these newly discovered trade routes were great for the continent, but not if all the shit kept winding up at the bottom of the ocean because the Spanish and Portuguese couldn't get along. So now the Pope, at this point, he steps in and basically he treats the Earth like a shared apartment in an 80s sitcom. He draws a line halfway across the Atlantic Ocean.
What?
For fuck's sake? How do you find the line when you're in the water?
Yeah, right?
Confusing.
But no, it gets so much stupider because then he says all the sea routes to the west of that line are Spain's and all the ones to the east are Portugal's. Oh, I love it. And that doesn't work because the Earth's round and the Pope's an idiot.
You guys are cheating. I see you going, you got west and we got, no, this is my east. Your east is left.
Yeah,
we're going my east.
But the kitchen is on the other side of the line. When I get hungry.
Portugal opens the refrigerator and sees Spain written in Sharpie on their container of bacalao.
Now, you should keep in mind that in this treaty, first of all, like all the other European countries aren't Catholic, so they're ignoring this shit. And Spain is kind of getting the shit end of the stick. Right? I mean, we're all pretty fond of America now, but back then, Spain's getting a mostly unexplored wilderness, and Portugal is getting all the silks and the spices and the Asian fineries that Europeans are already buying. So Spain figures, hey, Earth's round, why not set sail to Asia by going west?
Okay, let's pick. I'll take Europe and Asia, and you get North Carolina. Okay, great. We're agreed. I gotta go. I'm out.
You're cheating again. This isn't fair. Okay, fine. We get angles and you get straight lines. We get the straight ones. You get the angled ones.
Not less stupid. Of course, now, if you think about it, this is exactly what Columbus was trying to do when America got in his way in the first place. But by now, they'd pretty thoroughly mapped the American coastline, and Magellan was pretty sure that there was going to be a strait north of the Horn of South America that would cut some time off. Spoiler alert, we now call that strait the Strait of Magellan.
Alternately referred to as the Cis of Magellan.
Well, to be fair, the queer of Magellan didn't have the spoons to guide anyone to the New World that day, so they stayed home on Facebook and took selfies.
God.
Of course, this was going to be a damn expensive journey, and Magellan wasn't the only person that wanted to lead it. And since he was a Portuguese turncoat, he wasn't exactly first in line. But one advantage he had against his competitors was Enrique, an interpreter that could actually speak all the languages they might need along the way.
I like that. Hey, I've got this great new technology, converts languages. Yeah, that's a person. Not yet, it's not.
It's like the first Apple Watch. You keep watch, I give you an apple a year. It was perfect. It was a perfect.
There you go.
Absolutely. Profiting from Asian slave labor never gets old. That's basic economics.
All right, so eventually King Charles V of Spain agrees to fund the expedition with Magellan at its head. He gives him 5 ships, the Trinidad, the San Antonio, the Concepcion, the Santiago, and the Victoria. And on September 20th of 1519, they set sail with a crew of about 270, mostly from Spain, but they also had people from Portugal, Italy, Germany, Belgium, Greece, England, France, and, of course, Malacca.
They weren't going to let the Moluccans on the ship, but then they had to because of an affirmative boarding action. So
You got to build a border wall.
Oh, there you go.
Wall.
All right, so the first leg of the journey is pretty uneventful. By now, the Spanish have been crossing the Atlantic for more than 25 years, and they'd gotten pretty good at it. So by December 13th of that year, they anchored in present-day Rio de Janeiro for a resupply. They stayed there a little while because of bad weather, because you know how Rio has such bad weather and so few other reasons sailors might want to stay there. But a few weeks later, they head south in search of a strait.
Okay, thus making the first, but not the last time someone left Rio because they were looking for something straight.
Ryan Lochte did not have a good time after the Olympics. It's just like, so what happened there? Accidental gay hooker, I'm assuming? No. It was, we robbed a store.
Okay, so at this point, they're way into the southern hemisphere, and it's the end of March. So they settle into a temporary settlement that they dub Puerto San Julian for the winter. And it's about then that the trip starts turning to shit. A couple days after they set up camp, 3 of the 5 ships' captains mutiny. So Magellan has a pretty sweet deal going with the Spanish king about how stupid rich he gets to get if they actually made this trade route work. But the captains of these other ships don't have the same deal. What they do have are ships that are worth a fuck ton of money that are thousands of miles from anybody that can come after them.
We're leaving. We have boats and lots of money. Oh, no, fuck. We didn't think of that. Why did we give him the boats?
See, but if Magellan had known about multi-level marketing, he would have come out of this with more ships, not less.
Well, there you go.
You're thinking, I got plenty of doubloons here, but no corkscrews. Well, check this out. Here's how you do it. And I bet none of your boats can cut through a ship.
Well, there you go.
Well, not slice a tomato after.
So now Magellan swung into action pretty quick to put down this mutiny. He sent some folks around to kill a couple of the mutineering captains, and then he had them secretly cut the anchor lines of one of the ships that those captains took. So it just kind of drifted downstream to the much more well-armed flagship where Magellan was waiting.
Awesome strategy.
You're not leaving. We'll kill you. Fuck, we didn't think of that.
Yeah, right.
All right, we're going to stop announcing our plan from now on. Bet you didn't think of that. Fuck. Wait. Starting now.
Yes. All right, so Magellan has the ringleaders killed, but he realizes pretty quick that if he executes all the mutineers, he's not going to have enough people to crew all of these nice ships. So he finds it in his heart to forgive most of them. The others he has drawn, quartered, and impaled on spikes. Now, I couldn't figure out, it didn't say anywhere if that's like 4 spikes per quartered person or if they do it like a kebab. But one way or the other, yeah, there's a much more interesting visual that way. But one way or the other, it dissuades any future thoughts of mutiny.
Well, some are forgiven and the others are drawn and quartered. Like, those are the options, right?
Right.
How do they decide who gets forgiven? Musical spikes? Like,
Well, Tom, if you take the mere 94 and a half hours to listen to Dan Carlin's latest episode, you know.
All right, so they finish out their winter here, and then they set sail again when the weather starts to get warmer. But from here on out, the trip is going to be even worse than a van ride with Eli to ReasonCon.
Jesus.
Hurtful.
No, it's bad.
Hurtful. Okay.
I'm having an anxiety attack
So
right now.
hurtful. Yeah, exactly. So much. I need a second to recover and to comfort my friend who I will soon be sharing a hotel room with. So we're going to take a quick break for apropos of nothing. And when we come back, maybe Noah will mention the Enrique guy he said this episode was about.
Man, this sucks. The weather's bad and it's way too dangerous to go on.
I think we should turn back.
Yeah.
No, but guys, if we turn back, we aren't going to get that title of lord or that castle, you know?
Wait, hold on. What are you talking about?
Yeah, they never said any of that stuff. Castles and lord. What?
Wait, they never offer you lordships?
Lordships?
No. Did they offer you a lordship?
What, me? No, they didn't. No, I never. No, they did not. No, I just thought they'd be like super excited or something, and they just like
said that weird.
do it.
No, I mean,
I don't know. Like,
well, this is just for regular time. We're not even getting overtime for this.
wait, wow. So like no chest of gold then, or
No, they don't just give out chests of gold.
Okay, again, did they offer you chests of gold? Because it sounds like they offered you chests of gold.
No. I'm punching a clock just like you guys are. They didn't had it. No, not at all. But, you know, like if we keep going, we get to name shit after ourselves. You know, like that has to have value, right? Like
What?
we keep going on, we can.
Why would my kids are named after me? But it's again, I feel like you're getting something.
I feel like we should vote on it.
Yeah, okay, let's vote on it. So, all in favor of going back?
All in favor? That's going to be 3-1.
Enrique, cut that guy's arms off and hold him up. Okay, those are my votes now. All right, okay. Any objections? Great. Get the fuck back on the boat. Get back on your fucking ship. Enrique, come in here, Enrique. Come here.
Yes, sir.
I was just working on my journal of our journey, and I was wondering if I could just run some of it by you.
Oh, of course, sir.
Okay, all right. I'll just start reading here. Today, I met Enrique. His skin is dark like a sycamore tree. His legs are like firm trunks. His face, carved like chiseled mahogany, is something one can be lost in for hours. He shall be our translator, and I look forward to watching his beautiful language roll off his lips and into my open, waiting ears. So, what do you think?
Very vivid, sir. Very vivid.
Oh, cool.
Well,
Actually, do you mind going over, just going over it for spelling and grammar, just taking a look at it?
of course, sir. No problem.
There's like 40 pages about your butthole.
Okay.
And we're back. When we last left our hero, Noah hurt my feelings, and he was doing something. Not really sure what, because we're still hearing about the margarine guy from Portugal. So, honestly, I wandered. I got in a Twitter fight. Downloaded some sweet tunes from Imagine Dragons. What happened next, Noah? What happened next?
Very presidential of you. So that's Magellan, not margarine. But yeah, so before they set sail from their winter
But
encampment.
still not Enrique.
Well, no. Not him. So Magellan sends out one of his ships, the Santiago, on a scouting expedition where it promptly racked in a sudden storm. So he decides to maybe give it a few weeks. But by October 21st, they reached the strait they were looking for.
Sounds like my wife's wedding vows.
Her tears too salty as the sea.
Oh,
Yeah. All right. So
That's so mean.
so two quick things about the Strait of Magellan before Eli has that breakdown. First of all, if you look
Anna.
at it,
I'm sorry.
he just doesn't like Eli.
I just think she could do better. That's
I think we all know Anna.
She
could
sure
have done
could.
better. So
That was her dad's
Absolutely.
speech. That was her dad's speech. Pretty much the title. Right there.
kind of was.
It sure was.
God.
Hey, Dad, if you're listening, no, you're not. You want to hear a
All
joke,
right.
Dad? My career peaked.
All right, we were
I'm
talking.
on top of the mountain, Pops.
We were talking about the Strait of Magellan, right? Yeah. So, okay. First of all, if you look at it on Google Maps, you're probably going to notice that it would be a tricky motherfucker to navigate with 5 giant wooden sailboats before anybody charted it. The second is that it's only a couple hundred miles north of the Horn, so I feel like they're cutting out 3 days by doing this. But anyway,
Yeah.
it seems like such an insignificant amount of space. But anyway, they make it into the strait. They manage to navigate 3 of their remaining ships through unscathed. The 4th was just like, fuck this narrow shit, and deserted back to Spain.
It's like the first time a sailor's ever given up on something because it's too tight, right? Come on.
All right. Well, the key is you keep the vessel still and you have the strait back into it nice and slow. That's how I learned it. But you guys are talking like boats or something.
Yeah, no, it works.
Vet life is fun.
All right, so on November 1st, the remaining ships pass out of the strait and enter a tranquil sea. So tranquil, in fact, that Magellan calls it the Pacified Sea or the Pacific Ocean. Turns out that name would stick. It took them about 5 months to cross that one into Asia. And as we learned when we went to Australia last year, the trip hasn't gotten noticeably shorter in the last 500 years.
I don't know. You really learn to appreciate every single Spider-Man movie ever on the 4th viewing after having not slept for 3 days. It gets a certain je ne sais quoi.
I don't know. I slept great. And those Japanese flight attendants were the best. Just like softly rubbing belly and saying stuff I didn't understand until I fell asleep. It was wonderful. It wasn't like sexual or weird. It was just like really nice. I'm just saying. All Nippon Airlines, the inspiration of Japan.
Hey,
Delightful.
Dad, he's sneaking ads in that we didn't know about.
No, you are.
You are. We don't have ads because no one listens to the show.
Yeah.
You hear that, Dad? You hear that? We can't get ads on this show.
I can't imagine why. All right, so on March 16th, Magellan's expedition reached the island of Hamanhan in the Philippines with 3 ships and about 150 crew remaining.
That's right near Japan where you can fly on ANA.
Yeah, no, you can't. Yeah, if in case any of our listeners are flying to the Philippines
Or Japan.
All right, so among the remaining crew, get the fuck out of Philippines. That'd be a good idea. Among the remaining crew, of course, is Enrique of Malacca. And at this point, by the way, he's only about 1,000 miles from home, having come the long way around. Right? In his lifetime, he'd unwittingly circumnavigated 24,000 or so of the Earth's 25,000-mile circumference.
Oh, shit.
That's awesome.
Is this like the starting line metaphor about institutional racism? Where we use the starting gun to shoot all the other races?
First of all, it's called the NYPD Fun Run, and you didn't have to be my +1 if you didn't want to, Cecil, okay?
I didn't want to.
Well, you had to.
All right, so Magellan sends his trusty translator ashore with a small contingent to see if the locals are friendly. And it turns out that they are.
Wait, what's the plan if they aren't?
What? Kill or enslave them probably, but they are, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, yeah, all right, yeah.
And instead, the locals invite the whole crew to a big feast with their king. And once they get there, Magellan turns to the king, a dude by the name of Humaban, and he says, "Hey man, you wanna be my religion now?" And Humaban's like, "Sure, why the hell not?" So just going good.
Humaban went on to star in every Ray Comfort movie ever.
If I'm Enrique at this point, though, I'm having some fun while I do this translation.
Right?
It's like, so Magellan just asked if you'll tie him up and shit on his chest. And great, that is a big yes from Humaban, Magellan.
They discovered Germany?
Yeah.
All right, so after dinner, drinks, and formal kingdom-wide conversion to Catholicism, Humaban asks his new buddy Magellan for a quick favor. Turns out there's this other king on this other island that's been giving Humaban and his gang some trouble. So he says, hey, maybe you sail over there, you rattle your sabers a little bit, tell him about all that awesome Jesus stuff you just told me about, and maybe make him stop raping our daughters and shit.
Magellan's like, you don't understand. You're Christian now. Just send those guys hopes and prayers. It works every time. No worries, guys.
Turn your daughter's other cheek, actually, now.
Yeah.
Raping their daughters, they brought priests so the boys don't feel left out. That's the
As long as your sons are good, the Catholicism is going to work for you. Yeah. So Magellan's a nice enough guy. He says, sure, why the hell not? So now the correct answer to why the hell not, by the way, is because they're going to murder you with a giant bamboo spear the second you set foot on their island. But Magellan doesn't know that yet, so he decides to go teach those savages a few manners.
Yeah, he's showing the natives that you always start with the bamboo spear on the outside of the place setting.
and ideally finish with it on the outside of your body as well. That's key.
All right, so they set sail to see this other king, whose name, just in case you were in danger of taking this story seriously, is Datu Lapu Lapu.
Nice. Nice.
Humaban sounded more delicious.
Yeah.
I wanted a Cinnabon right away. I don't know you guys. I wanted a Cinnabon.
It's good to get something sweet after the salty torsadillas. No, so they get to this island. They can't sail the big ships close enough, so he takes about 50 guys or so ashore on these smaller boats, and then they kill the fuck out of him the second he sets foot on the island. Despite the fact, by the way, that the Spanish have crossbows and muskets and the natives have bamboo spears.
Blame on all sides. Blame on all sides.
Yeah. Now, it helps that the one side with the bamboo spears probably outnumbered the others like 30-1. So, that was big. So Magellan dies on the beach. But most of the landing party does manage to scramble back into their little dinghies and get safely aboard the ship. And, of course, among the survivors is Enrique of Malacca, who, according to Magellan's will, is now a free man.
Oh, that's nice, right? And to my friend Enrique, I leave my friend Enrique.
That's it. Actually, that's exactly what it is, too. So, okay. Now,
He's like flagellating himself because he doesn't have anybody else to hit him.
He gets 3/5 of himself. It's really confusing.
all right, so I'm not going to make the mistake here of pretending that there's such thing as a good slave owner.
Yeah, that's Heath spit. Don't steal Heath spit.
Okay, racist. You are that. But slaves are too stupid to know the difference between good and bad employers. Like that's you're racist.
Jesus
You are.
Christ. On the scale of slave owners, Magellan seems to at least not be one of the really bad ones. All right, so all the accounts that we have show these two guys as kind of like friends. And look, I'm sure that slave that likes me is even less genuine than stripper that likes me. But it's safe to say that Magellan really did like Enrique. According to his will, which was there with him on the boat, upon Magellan's death, Enrique was to be granted his freedom and given 10,000 Spanish gold coins out of Magellan's estate.
All right, so he writes about how handsome he is, how verbose he is, and how smart he is, and then he leaves him 10,000 gold coins in his will. I'm going to go ahead and guess they were special friends, Noah.
I feel like it was generous. You can have your freedom when you pry it out of my cold, dead hands.
Well, there's I think the special friends thing for the guys that spent their entire lives on boats together probably is, and you're not getting crazy with this. Okay, so Enrique goes to this dude named Sarreo. Now, he's in charge of the expedition at this point because Magellan's dead. And Enrique says, hey, I'd like my gold coins and my freedom, please. And Sarreo is like, go fuck yourself, slave boy. I still need a translator. Sue me when we get back to Spain.
Okay, but if you don't trust me, your gold, it's right there in the hull, in the back. Go ahead, go grab it. Go grab it. And your freedom is right next to it. Just go right ahead. It's right there.
Oh, shit. All right, so at this point, they sail back to that friendly king, and that's where Sarreo is going to learn how stupid it is to make a mortal enemy out of your interpreter. So they go back to Humaban, and they have another one of these great feasts, and at the feast, Humaban and his men kill everyone there except Enrique.
Enrique's like, so see you when I get back to Spain. Or I could just Mad Libs whatever you're saying, put rape in every blank space.
Yes, right.
By the way, we call that Twitter now. That's Twitter.
He was ahead of his time.
If only Twitter killed you, Cecil. If only Twitter killed you.
It's killing us all, Eli.
Yeah. Nobody cares but us,
Yeah,
Tom.
no shit.
Nobody cares but us. What does that mean? Forward 15 seconds.
No.
It means Luddites are always scared. That's what it means.
All right, so now there's a lot of conjecture on how Enrique made this happen. Some accounts say he told them that the Spaniards were going to kidnap the king. Others say he told them they were planning to enslave everybody on the island. Still others just say he honestly told the king what Sarreo had done, but nobody really knows. And as the translator, he could have, like Cecil said, he could have been just going like, yeah, he says your mom's a whore again until Humaban has the guy killed. All right, now, unfortunately, this is the point where we lose Enrique's historical thread. He's 1,000 miles or 2,500 kilometers or so from Malacca at this point, would have been well within his means to island hop his way there, would have only taken a couple of months, and we're pretty sure he had a bit of money when he started. And as safe as it is to assume that that's exactly what he did, we don't know for sure. So he may have got almost all the way around the world. And therefore, history can't officially grant him that title.
I'd like to think he went back to that island and laid next to Magellan's body until he died, like that dog on Futurama.
It's so
That's cool. Great. Well, now that we all remembered that episode, I'm going to spend the rest of the episode loudly weeping. So,
Right?
if anyone needs
Jesus.
me, I'll be the one scream crying.
again.
It turns out the title of first person to circumnavigate the globe actually ends up going to one Sebastian Elcano. He's the highest ranking person still alive when Magellan's expedition comes limping back into port in autumn of 1522. Now, keep in mind, originally they didn't really set out with the intention of circumnavigating the globe, but after the heavy losses in the Philippines, they decided the Treaty of Tordesillas could go fuck itself, and they took the most direct route back home. Most of the remaining sailors would starve along the way.
Jesus.
And in all, of the 270 people who set sail, a whopping 17 of them survived the whole trip.
Wait. If they only needed 17 people to sail these things back home, I think there were about 253 people heavy on the personnel roster. They might have had enough food if they hadn't bought and paid for a couple extra 100 people.
And Noah, if you had to summarize what you've learned in one sentence, what would it be?
That humans are so fucking stupid that they had to send a ship around the world with a calendar before it occurred to anybody that they were going to need an international dateline.
All right, as someone who does not know what that is, are you ready to swab the decks of our ignorance with knowledge?
You've been over it.
I don't know what that means. It was a different day when I got there, but I couldn't tell you how it worked or why it worked or why we needed it. Why can't it always be Tuesday?
All right. Well, I will say your ignorance is the least gross part of you I've swabbed, so why the hell not? I'm ready to go.
All right, I'll get started. Noah, what is inscribed on Magellan's headstone? A, I was bamboozled.
Bamboozled.
B, an immigrant took my job. C, horseshoe and hand grenade champion of 1521. Or D, world's okayest circumnavigator.
Well, I feel like Heath already hinted around with, or no, I'm sorry, Tom already hinted around it with the Make Portugal Great Again. It was B, an immigrant took my job.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is. Another presidential retweet coming our way.
All right. What other famous explorers were really irrelevant castaway side notes to history? A, Clarence Terhune, who in 1928 stowed away on a Zeppelin from New Jersey to Germany. B, Pardeep Saini, who stowed away in the wheel well of a 747, surviving by going to a state of suspended animation a la Fry from Futurama, and whose brother died doing the same exact fucking thing.
Jesus.
What?
Or C, this episode, which was about Magellan, but which Enrique hitched his wagon to, and who was going to have me killed now for threatening to expose.
All right. I'm not 100% on this one, but I love the idea of the human tardigrade too much. I'm going to go with B, Pardeep Saini.
Yeah, what the hell?
All right. A little bit of a different angle on this one. Noah, who was this episode about? Is it A, Edward of Moncala, B, Repay the Macaw, C, Denfleek Malala, D, a replay of Obama, E, none of the above, Eli. It's written at the top of the page. Seriously, you have to start going over your notes more carefully. I didn't write that last one, but
Nope, but it's the correct one. I'm going to go with E.
All right, I got one more for you. So when Enrique, the translating sex slave pirate, finally got back to Malaysia, he was knighted and given the title Circumnavigate. And of course, they after that happened, he was a knight, circumnavigate. Terrible. And of course, they wrote books about him, which eventually became pirate-themed gay porn.
Of course, yes.
Which of the following is the most popular biopic about Enrique of Malacca, the literal ass pirate? Was it A, Around the World in 80 Gays? Was it B, Brown Eye, Sir? Was it C, 15 men shat on a dead man's chest? Also known as Scat of Nine Tails? Or was it D, Yo Homo and a Bottle of Cum? Also known as Two Pearls, One Cup.
Oh, wow. All right. I feel like everyone's the winner here just because of the circumnavigate joke, but I'm going to go with C, 15 men shat on a dead man's chest.
You got well, nobody managed to stump you, so that means that I did not stump you. Which
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is. Well done. Process of elimination there.
all right. Well, I thought Heath was reading my line just now, but he wasn't. It looks like nobody managed to stump you. So Noah, you're this week's winner, and that means you're next week's host. Who do you want to do all the work?
I offer Cecil as tribute.
Oh, awesome.
All right. Now I'll toss it over to Sarah for last week's Twitter answer and this week's Twitter question.
Thanks, Eli. This week's question is, if they were making a movie about Enrique of Malacca's life, what should the tagline be? Just retweet or Facebook share this episode with your answer for a chance to be next week's winner. Back to you, Eli.
All right, well, for Cecil, Heath, Noah, and Tom, I'm Eli. Thank you for hanging out with us today. We'll be back next week, and by then, Cecil will be an expert on something else, probably something old-timey that involves armor. Between now and then, you can hear more from Tom and Cecil on their excellent podcast, Cognitive Dissonance, and you can hear more from me, Heath, and Noah on The Scathing Atheist, The Skeptocrat, and God-Awful Movies. Also, I'm pretty sure I still have a blog, but nobody's checked in a while. And if you'd like to help keep this show going and make those jokes about my father-in-law stay jokes, you can make a episode donation at patreon.com/citationpod, or leave us a 5-star review everywhere you can. And if you'd like to get in touch with us, check out past episode, connect with us on social media, or check the show notes. Be sure to check out citationpod.com. And remember, don't break promises to your translator.
His butthole, I imagine, is sweet like an inside-out chocolate case.
Kiss.
Like an inside-out chocolate kiss.
Kiss, exactly, yes. Yeah.
I'm gonna have you killed.
What?
Nothing.